Alexandra Eala continues to thrill the crowds in Toronto as she chases back to
7 wins in a row, 3 deciding sets in a row, 1 ankle that gave out mid-match and still finished the job. Eala is about to play her 8th match in 9 days, and across the net is an Olympic gold medalist who just spent 3.5 hours surviving Taylor Townsend in one of the longest fights of the entire season. Everyone keeps asking who's going to win. That's the wrong question, because once you actually dig into the numbers, they don't point to a winner. They point to a scoreline. And it's not the one most people are guessing. 2 nights ago, Eala rolled her ankle in the second set against Katie McNally. Trainer came out, tape went on, she kept playing, lost that set, and still walked off a winner 2 hours and 39 minutes later. Now she's got roughly 2 days to recover before facing a former champion of this exact tournament. My claim is simple. This match was basically decided before either racket left the bag, and I'll show you why in 3 parts. Part 1 is a shot both of these women are quietly nervous about, and the numbers on it cancel each other out almost perfectly. Part 2 is something no stat sheet tracks. It filled a 10,000-seat arena in a country neither player calls home. Part 3 is the head-to-head, 0 matches, ever. Most people skip past that line. It might be the most important one in this whole preview. First, who's actually playing? Eala is 21, a lefty, sitting at a career-high ranking inside the top 20, and unbeaten on North American hard courts all summer. 10 days ago she won her first tour title, beating world number 3 Jessica Pegula in the final. On the other side, Belinda Bencic is 29, a former world number 4, an Olympic gold medalist, a 20-time title winner, and someone who already lifted this exact trophy back in 2015. On paper, it looks like momentum against experience, a rising player walking into a veteran with a much heavier resume. So why do the numbers not agree with that story? Because of what's on the line, and because of that 0-0 history. Winning gets Eala her best result of the season and a likely rematch with a player who eliminated her earlier this year. Winning gets Bencic her deepest run here since 2022. Neither can afford to start slow, and with no history between them, a slow start is almost guaranteed. There's no book on how the other one handles pressure, no memory of what she does at deuce. That means the first few games of this match aren't really about winning points, they're about reading a stranger. Whoever finishes reading first probably takes the whole afternoon. Now the shot nobody talks about, the second serve. Over the last 6 months, Eala wins a slightly higher share of points on her own second serve than Bencic does. Flip it around, and Bencic is the sharper returner against second serves, better than Eala is on the return. So Eala protects her weak spot slightly better, and Bencic attacks that same weak spot slightly better. Then Eala attacks hers. Those 2 edges basically erase each other. What that produces on court isn't clean tennis. It's long, grinding games, deuce after deuce, both serves getting broken at some point, and a scoreboard that refuses to run away from either woman. Zoom out further and it gets stranger. Across their entire careers, both players have won almost the exact same overall percentage of total points played. Different games, different generations, same number. That's not a coincidence that makes picking a winner easier. It makes it harder. You saw this exact pattern play out live. Against McNally, Eala cruised through the first set, then rolled her ankle in the second, got broken while serving for the match, and lost that set. The one moment her game cracked was the one the stats predicted, a pressure point on serve against a scrappy returner. So what happens when the opponent isn't ranked 70 in the world, but 14? To be fair, Eala has also been saving well over half her breakpoints this week and has won 3 straight deciding sets. That's not luck, that's a skill. But Bencic just did the identical thing against Townsend, lost the first tiebreak, then won the next 2 sets. The serve numbers cancel out. The return numbers cancel out. The career numbers are already tied. Which means the real deciding factor isn't sitting in any spreadsheet. Here's the part almost nobody's talking about. When the tournament confirmed Eala for a night session, thousands of extra tickets sold within hours, driven largely by the massive Filipino community in the Greater Toronto area. What showed up was flags in every section, chanting between points, roars on the opponent's errors, commentators comparing the atmosphere to a Grand Slam final in an early round. Now flip the fatigue narrative you've probably been assuming. Every time Eala's been dragged into a third set this week, in front of that same roaring crowd, she's won it. What if the exhaustion and the noise aren't separate things? What if the crowd is literally where she's finding the energy her body should have run out of by now? That's chaos versus control. A 21-year-old who seems to feed off a loud building against a gold medalist whose whole identity is calm, low-error, unhurried tennis, built and proven inside the silence of an empty Olympic stadium. Does that experience make Bencic immune to the noise, or has she simply never faced anything like this? Betting markets have this price close to a coin flip, and the side markets are leaning heavily toward the match going the distance. Every signal, the serve stats, the identical career numbers, the form, the money, points the same direction. 3 sets. And there's one opponent nobody's mentioning, the clock. 3 straight 3-setters, doubles matches on top of that, nearly 8 hours of tennis in a week, and a taped ankle. For the first 90 minutes, younger legs usually win that battle. After that, accumulated fatigue becomes real, and a decade of experience managing exactly that kind of night starts to matter. My actual read: whoever's still holding their second serve past the 90-minute mark wins this. Win or lose, this match is already bigger than one round. A win pushes Eala toward her best season yet and a likely measuring stick rematch for the year. It also keeps fueling a bigger conversation tennis is having right now about who these new, loud crowds belong to and whether the sport is ready for them. 6 months ago, people were debating if she belonged in the top 20. After this, the question might be how close she is to the top 10. Drop your predicted score for the third set below, because at this point, almost everyone agrees there's going to be one.